My name's Derek Poots. I was Programme Director for a change of telephony at Heathrow Airport, which 2E2 were the supplier for. Why 2E2 won the tender was a mixture of things. First of all, technical strength in the unified comms area. There's no doubt they had the design capability and the track record to technically cope with this extremely demanding programme. But secondly, I think the depth of resources that they could bring to play, because you're talking about 50 to 60 people on site, on any given day, and you're dealing with a vast range of stakeholders from, retailers through to airlines in a very tough environment. But I would say one of the real clinchers, apart from the real hard metrics, would be the people-oriented flexibility that they display in how they do business, and I think that went down very well. Heathrow's a massive site. We're talking about 1,800 individual buildings. There were 55 TDM telephone exchanges, and BT had been laying copper into there since just after the Second World War. So there were some of the most difficult conditions in terms of the change of management of that to IPT that you could possibly envisage. User adoption was one of the major parts of the pitch that 2E2 presented, which was it's all about the end user feeling that they've got and accepted the product at the end of the day. So this wasn't really treated as just a sort of afterthought, but there was a strong run-up to how that was going to be carried out whilst the technology was being delivered. Implementation of IPT in that scale of site took something like 9 months. There was the usual staging of the technology and all of the testing of the central components of that, but the major thrust of the whole deployment was the hand-to-hand warfare of swapping out telephones and circuits across what's a massive site. So, for example, you'd have a live check-in desk where the telephone system was being changed whilst the attendant was actually checking somebody in. So the logistics and the on-site program management of that kind of challenge was something that was particularly right up 2E2 Street. The big benefit of the program was a complete refresh of the cost structure of how telephony is delivered. Now that's a very financial objective, but that's the truth of the matter. At the beginning of the process, the phones worked. At the end of the process, the phones worked. But the biggie was, it was a fraction of the cost that it was previously, and the technology had been completely refreshed. I found working with 2E2 to be a pleasure. And the reason for that is that whilst I didn't know them at the start, and we selected them on the basis of a lot of pretty hard and fast criteria like technology, cost, and so on, at the end of the day, it all boiled down to the team that they were able to deploy on the ground and the stickability that they showed through thick and thin to deliver the program at the end.